Hey guys, and welcome to my world. So yes, that intro, I shot that after closing the gym. I shot it after work. It was like 10:30 at night and I was in the studio like not gonna lie to you guys, it was kind of fun. It was. I had people walking past outside, going home after a long day's work, looking in at me just like, what is that guy doing? And there's me like, Senti or chi. Oh, so yeah, I finished Iron Fist about a week ago. About a week ago. That does not need to come back. No, I apologise. But yeah, Iron Fist is a Marvel hero that I never really knew much about. I'm not gonna lie, and he never really interested me. Like, I knew he was a wealthy person. I knew that he studied martial arts, and he beat a dragon. Did he beat a dragon? Pulled out the dragon's heart or something like that. Something like that. But that's as far as my Iron Fist knowledge goes. Yeah, Danny Rand and Iron Fist never really interested me. However, I was looking forward to the series. I was, because as we all know, it's part of the Netflix Marvel universe. It's in that street, gritty reality of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and as we know, they're coming together as the Defenders. So guys, Iron Fist. Let's talk about it. So Iron Fist focuses on the character of Danny Rand, part of the Netflix series. Yes, I like my steelbooks. I have pre-ordered Daredevil Season 2. I will leave the link in the description below if you want to go do the same. But Danny Rand is returning to America after 15 years of being presumed dead, which is alright for a first series. It focuses on the origins of Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, that sort of stuff. And you see some cool flashbacks to stuff to do with Danny's past, stuff like that. He's clearly suffering with some post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. He's with his shaky white blur episodes, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool to see. They made it a bit more realistic in a way of him coming back, him with his chi, centering it, the flashbacks. It was kind of cool. Talking of it being an origins though, the first few episodes, the pacing was very off. It really was. It felt all over the place to me. It felt like they was, in a way, trying to cram too many plot points, too many side stories and the backstory into the whole show. That the pacing, it was just all over the place. Now, the main focus of the story of Iron Fist is the Hand. That's not a spoiler. If you've read Iron Fist comics, you should know the Hand are pretty much a big deal in it. As well, if you've watched the Netflix shows. The Hand have pretty much infested New York, they've infested Hell's Kitchen, and now they've infested Rand too. Some would say they have a hand in everything. So in this show, you've got a lot of characters. You've got Danny Rand as the Iron Fist, you've got Colleen Wing, we'll wing it, Wing. We'll call her Wing. We're winging it. The Mitchums, Joy, Ward, cannot remember the dad's name. Yeah, cannot remember the dad's name. You've got the Hand, and so on. As well as some familiar faces from other shows. You've got the likes of Rosario Dawson as Claire Temple, who, you know, I love. I just love her. I do! She stole every scene she was in, by the way, okay? She is more in this than I thought she was going to be, and that's a good thing. That is a really good thing. Rosario Dawson, always a good thing. We also have other characters like Hogarth from Jessica Jones, or shall I call her J Money? Yeah, we're going to call her J Money, which is surprising in a way, as in this show you see another side to her. You get another sort of layer to her character from what we got in Jessica Jones, which I personally really liked. Okay, I really liked how Hogarth was done in this series. And then other characters, you've got, like I was mentioning, the Mitchums. So Ward's dad. Okay, Ward's dad, I was like, where the hell do I recognise this guy from? And then it hit me. I was like, no way! That's Faramir! That's my boy Faramir! All I have to say, though, is he went from having a douchebag dad, okay, to being a douchebag dad. Hashtag Denethor would be proud. He really would. Now, as characters go, Wing was by far my favourite. She was freaking amazing in this show. She really was. Not only her action scenes being the best of the show, but her story too. Like, for me, she was the most compelling character, and overall, she was the more investing character, which is a shame. It really is. Like, as much as I loved Wing, it's a real shame to say that the secondary character was the more investing one in a show called Iron Fist about Iron Fist. Let's be honest, that's a bad thing. Now, the reason that I say that about Wing is basically I felt like more invested in her, like I could understand her motivations more. Like Danny, they imply stuff, but they never fully explain his motivations half the time. So the main character, I wasn't as invested in as I was Wing, and just for me, her story, her arc, felt a lot more developed than Danny's did by the end. So again, that's another bad thing. Oh my god, this ain't going well. So yeah, this show had me enjoying secondary characters like Wing, Claire Temple, and Hogarth a lot more than the main character of Danny Rand and Iron Fist. I feel that's because Danny's story was more focused on Rand and the corporate side of things more than the mystical martial arts side. And yeah, that's where I left the show. I was just like, okay, I'm not invested in you. Where's Wing at? Claire Temple, come back, baby. Hogarth, J Money, where you at? That's how I felt watching this show. Talking not being invested in characters, The Hand, you know I'm not a big fan of them. They were the weaker side, especially with Elektra, of Daredevil Season 2 for me. So I'm really not invested in them as a story arc or as the major key villains of the overall universe. And Iron Fist really hasn't changed that for me. Don't get me wrong, Madame Gao. Now, Madame Gao is obviously in this, okay? Now, her, I'm invested in. I really am. She's great, okay? I love her as a character. She's very, very mysterious. You can't help but just want to know more. Like, every scene she's in, I'm just like, please, who are you? Tell me! And her eventual story that will play out in later seasons, in the Defenders, hopefully, I'm hoping it pays off because there's just a cloud, a shroud of mystery about her that I'm just so invested in. And her as a character, I want to see more of. The Hand, I could honestly do without. I really could. I'm just not invested in them as much as I probably should be. So guys, at the moment it probably feels like I'm hating on this show. I'm not. It's not as bad as it's made out to be. Like, I have seen people slate it. I've seen reviews. It is pretty low. Review-wise, critic-wise, it's not that bad, okay? It's just not great. Now, let's talk negatives, okay? Because there's quite a few. The first thing that really annoyed me in this was the action. And in a martial arts show, that's bad. Now, don't get me wrong, the action does get a lot better. Especially in the later episodes. But the first action scene, it felt very slow. It was very slow, and it felt very, very choreographed. It was just by the numbers, like one move, very slow, and I was just like, no, that's not working for me. It didn't feel right, especially from the amazing action we had seen in other martial arts stuff, sort of like Daredevil. The action we got in Luke Cage, the action we got in Jessica Jones, it did not feel right for me, and it just grated away at me. Every action scene, until maybe there's an elevator hallway scene, and then I was just like, right, that's great. That's great. The action does get a lot better, but for the first few episodes, you're just like, well, for me anyway, I was just like, does not feel right. Does not feel right. Talking about the action being very snail-paced looking stunt work, another action bit that got me was in one of the later episodes, and that was to do with the Drunken Master. Now, if you've seen the show, you probably know what I'm talking about, and I messaged Harry straight away, and Harry was like, maybe that guy's just a bit more experienced in martial arts, but I was not buying into that. I really wasn't. Now, one of the best action scenes for Danny was the hallway axe scene, the elevator scene. It was freaking great. You see him go hard. You see him go hard, okay? He goes up against, what, several people with axes, and he's taken them out. It is a cool scene. It's very, very like Daredevil's hallway scene. It's so cool to see the character just do that. And then later on, he goes up against a drunk guy, and he is getting his ass handed to him. His ass is getting handed to him, okay? He literally gets asked in the face. Oh my god, the guy is drunk, jumps in the air, and butts Danny down to the ground. Like, I was not buying into that. No way. Especially after we'd seen him take out several guys. And then after the Drunken Master scene, he goes up against two guys with these poison blade things and beats them up straight away. And I'm just like, I was not buying into it. So, and you see in the trial as well, he's going up against people in the trial and he's winning and stuff like that. You see him go up against such cool characters, such hardcore situations, that the Drunken Master scene, as much as it was funny, I was not buying into it. I really wasn't. And that's another part of the action that just grated away at me. I was just like, nah, doesn't feel right. Although, talking about the negatives of the action, I've got to say how positive the action was as well. Like, again, the axe hallway scene, great. But the best action by far in this show was from Wing. Wing's action scenes, man, she had some amazing action. She was cage fighting. She was one of the positives of the action scenes. She was so cool to watch. But again, that's coming back to a negative view of the show, because in a show about Danny and the Iron Fist called Iron Fist, the action for her was so much better. It really was. I loved this character, Wing. I really did. Other negatives I have with this show is that it can spend a lot of time on plot points that really don't feel like they need that much screen time. Like the mystery of who Danny is at the beginning, they spend a lot of time on, and it never really pays off. Other side stories as well just became very stale very quickly, and it felt like it dragged. Like a lot of the corporate stuff was dragging, and I was just like, I don't buy into this. I'm not invested in this. Can we just get to like Colleen Wing fighting? Can I see some more Claire Temple? Where's Hogarth at? That's how I felt watching this show. I really did. Now guys, there's some minor negatives. Now my biggest negative, okay, my biggest problem with this show, now guys, you know I love my villains. I really do. And for this show, there isn't really one singular villain. There's just a lot of bad people. By the end, the main bad guy that Danny has to go up against, it just felt like it was too late to even say or see him as a villain. He was just more of a giant douche. He really was, and I think that's why this show fell a bit flat for me, because with Jessica Jones and Daredevil Season 1, they're amazing because their villain is so great. Kilgrave, Kingpin, I just love them so much. I would have said Luke Cage as well, but you know, Cottonmouth, well, hashtag gone too soon. But Iron Fist, like I said, it has no singular villain, just more of the hand and a lot of bad people and antagonists. So there was no one that I really became invested in like I did with other shows of Kilgrave and Kingpin. So I was just like, yeah, I don't really like these bad people. They're just there. So overall, is this a good show? yeah, it's okay. It's definitely not as bad as some of the reviews I've seen and heard. The things people have said about it, the negatives, just aren't as bad as people are hating on. But it's definitely not as good as other shows in this universe like Daredevil Season 1 and Jessica Jones. It's definitely not to that level. For me, personally, it's down there with Daredevil Season 2. But in a good way, it has made me appreciate, it really has, it's made me appreciate the series Luke Cage a lot more than I did. Like, sweet Christmas! Hashtag Harlem, baby. Yeah, I appreciate the series Luke Cage a lot more than I did. Iron Fist is definitely down there as one of the weaker seasons in the whole overall story of the Defenders. I'm hoping the Defenders is a lot better than this. I believe it's only 8 episodes. So I'm hoping that we don't get too much dragged out and it just focuses on one central story. But we'll see. But guys, Iron Fist, it was okay. I believe I watched it in maybe 3 or 4 sittings, so it wasn't to the point where I was like, oh, that's one episode done, I'll come back to it as and when. I was able to watch a few episodes at a time. Never felt like it dragged that much where I was bored of it, but some plot points did drag. Yeah, just Iron Fist, this show I believe needed a lot more Iron Fist than it had. They should have called this show like Daughter of the Dragon or Wings, Winds or something like that, because she was by far the coolest character and the one that I was invested more in, which again is a big negative. It really is. Like, they should have had more Iron Fist in this than they did. But guys, have you seen Iron Fist and what did you think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. And like I said in previous videos, I've got my Q&A coming. I will be shooting that next. So leave your last minute questions down in the comment section below and I will answer them for you. And guys, as always, thanks for watching and take care. See you later!
So guys, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date with content from me, then click subscribe here. I've linked a few other videos here for your entertainment. If you want to check those out, just click on the image shown. If not, look over my channel. I'm sure there's some other content you will enjoy. Thanks for watching guys, and as always, take care.